Hello, welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I'm a bronze medal winner, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another week of Bloodhaus.
Just bronze? Oh man, she choked. She choked at the last minute.
I am the Richie Tenenbaum of podcasting.
Yeah. I think she took off her shoes.
I think you're right, Tex. I think she's laying down. Who's that in the stands? Is that? Oh, that's her sister.
That's her sister.
And her new husband, Raleigh Sinclair.
Oh boy, we know that movie too well, I guess.
Last week when we had Izzy on, there was too many like 30 Rock-esque things between us before we started recording that I was like, we need to nip that in the bud. People can't.
Now it's Royal Tenenbaums.
Well,
I recently had a dream that Joel and I went to go see a movie that was a biopic of the French philosopher Simone Weil, who I know truly nothing about except the way that she looks. She died at 30 years old in, I don't know, the 1950s maybe, and she had like crazy hair and little round glasses. And she was like a communist and a Catholic mystic and all of this sort of stuff. But the movie was done in the style of like the French Dispatch. And I think it was a Wes Anderson movie in my dream. And I was like, he should really do that. Like that would be I don't know anything about that philosopher really, but now I want to because the movie in my dream was so good. It's a good idea.
I love whatever your subconscious is on, that it is spinning out concepts not only for you but for different filmmakers for things you don't even know about.
I don't know a single thing about Simone Weil.
Did you learn more about her in your dream?
Now I know a lot about her because it prompted me to start learning about her. I don't even know where she entered my dream. I know simply what she looked like and her name.
Oh my God, that's too good.
Yeah.
I love that. Meanwhile, my dreams have been circling around, and this happens a lot in my dreams, which are I'm at like some kind of rummage sale or thrift store or something, and I come across a laser disc of a movie from recent times, and I'm like, wow, that's great. I should take that home with me. And I'm like, why? First of all, why am I dreaming this? This is pointless.
Yeah.
But also, second of all, they didn't make that. They didn't make an Eyes Wide Shut Laserdisc, you fucking idiot. They didn't.
It's
stupid
weird. Dream.
Stupid fucking dreams. How are you doing?
I'm good. I've
on
actually
the conscious
been watching
plane.
on this realm. In the physical plane, I've been doing pretty well. I have been reading a lot and watching a lot and writing a lot. I've been watching a lot of the Criterion app lately because they have this new category, the 90s soundtrack category.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty great. And I decided to rewatch a movie that I haven't seen since the 90s. I watched it a lot because I had the VHS in like middle school. So I decided to rewatch Mallrats, and it is awful. I was like angry. I was like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. It was like such an education on how I don't know. I guess in the back of my mind, I knew that I wasn't really into Kevin Smith, but I was shocked at like how much I hated it. And I was like, how did this man ever convince the film industry that he could write a movie? And then I remembered like all of this stuff, like about how the only movie I ever walked out of in my life was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And and I was like, oh yeah, I don't like Kevin Smith. And even though I watched this movie all the time, like maybe I never really liked it. So anyways, I turned that off about 3/4 of the way through because I like could not bear any more of it. I decided to watch Allan Moyle's Pump Up the Volume,
which I've never seen somehow.
By contrast, Drew, it's wonderful and you will love it. And it is aged like fine wine. I hadn't really seen it that many times. Now, Allan Moyle is very special to me, and I wanted to talk about him on the show because we really haven't talked about him that much, despite having talked about some of his movies quite a bit. So he entered my life as a teenager in the 90s because he made Empire Records, which for people my age was a banger and like very formative. I was like maybe 13 or 14 when that came out, and it was a teen movie with a really cool alternative rock soundtrack and like all of these cool, beautiful young actors, and a very funny, charming movie about young old people who work in a record store. Great movie, super fun.
When I was growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, I would go into video stores and record stores back when like Sam Goody was like going out and there was like FYE and stuff like that. I would go to all those stores, and I remember at one there was like an like older than me like alt girl that worked at one of them that I had a huge crush on, and she was always like, I took this job because I thought it was going to be like Empire Records, and she would recommend me like Train Spotting and Straw Dogs and stuff like that. And so like a lot of the more like edgy like alt stuff that I got into at that age was because like the hot girl who's older than me, who's like a scene girl, who she told me that this was really fun, so I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. And through that, in my 20s, when I moved to New York, I discovered his 1980 movie Times Square,
which is a masterpiece.
And I like even more than Empire Records, which is one of the first movies to make use of like cool punk and new wave as the soundtrack. It's a very like formative kind of Riot Girl movie about two 14-year-old girls, one rich, one poor, who both run away from home and are living on the pier on the west side of Manhattan. And Tim Curry is...
You love an 80s teen girl movie where one is rich and one is poor.
Love. I mean, all I care about is class politics. That's the thing. And we never get that in teen movies anymore, but it was major in 80s movies. So anyways, he made these two really, really important rock and roll teen movies. He's kind of like the John Hughes of alt kids in my mind. But Pump Up the Volume came out in 1990, and I was a 1990s teen, but I graduated in 99, so I was on the uncool end of the 90s. And 1990 is like kind of a weird place because it's like just a little bit before my time and not enough before my time, like the 80s, where I was like reaching for it because it was cool and vintage, like, you know, those Molly Ringwald movies or whatever. So I think I saw it once as a teenager and maybe once again in my 20s and liked it, but like I never reached for it again. But now I loved it so much. So Christian Slater plays a character who moves from a city to a small town in Arizona, and his dad has bought him a ham radio set for some reason. And with a voice modulator, he has a pirate radio show where basically he thinks he's talking to nobody at first. And he's talking about like the death of America, basically, in this like very cynical radio show. And like also playing, you know, rap records and records by the Descendants and all this cool music. And it like becomes very popular at his high school and like sets off this teenage rebellion. And it just feels so timely, and the writing is so good, and the fashion is really good. Even it's like such a good aesthetic moment. Great soundtrack, great writing. Ellen Green from Little Shop of Horrors plays the nice teacher. It just is so good. It's up there with like Over the Edge and Times Square, and like it is in that space, and it just chef's kiss. I like could not recommend it highly enough.
When I was in high school, the drummer in my band and I got sent to separate high schools, and we both separately got radio shows through our high schools, and we had like competing radio shows at the same time.
Oh, that's cool.
Where we'd get to like spin music for like an hour in the afternoon on Wednesdays or whatever it was. And their father had like dabbled in like had been like college radio DJ too.
Yeah.
In the like mid 80s. And so like as soon as my friend started doing that, their dad like gave them a tape of Pump Up the Volume and was like, you need to watch this movie. This movie is the best. And they are obsessed with it, and they've been trying to get me to watch it for so fucking long. And I really, really, really need to. I have always loved the poster, the like pose of Christian Slater, like with his hand on his forehead and the cigarette burning, and like all the little like echoey dots to let you know that he's a broadcaster. It's so fun. Also,
it's
like,
so
talk hard, steal the air. It's such a great tagline.
Yeah. I mean, his fake name is Hard Harry, and he like tells, he always talks about how he's naked and wearing nothing but a cock ring. And
that might be the other reason why my friend likes that movie so much.
His radio, like his theme song that he plays on the start of every show is Everybody Knows by Leonard Cohen, which, if you know, it is like the most cynical song of all time.
That's amazing.
He's so hot in the movie. I think Christian Slater might be one of those men who's like hotter with glasses than without. He just looks so good with his little glasses. I mean, Christian Slater in the 80s, between this and Heathers and Legend of Billie Jean, he's just like, what a man.
I still need to see Legend of Billie Jean too. That's been on high.
Another great Teenage Rebellion movie from the 80s.
Heathers so much. I love Christian. And there's other friends of mine that I went to high school with that also to this day like didn't grow up with Christian Slater in that same way, but have a thing of like he is like teen movie idol perfection. That if he's in something, absolutely, I will go watch it, and that's like to this day. Yeah. I adore him. I really need to watch Pump Up the Volume while it's on the channel. I think I might have a VHS tape of it, so I'll definitely spin it that way.
One of Gen X's finest.
He's so beautiful. I always kind of found him and like James Spader at odds with each other, and I always thought that Slater was the better of the two. But he never got the like adult erotic thriller career that James Spader had, which I think is a missed opportunity, because Christian Slater doing his like Jack Nicholson voice, like going down on Andy McDowell with like a straight razor would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my! I'll just like back to Mallrats for a second though. Mallrats is
must we
a rough film, but a really weird one. In that the first time I watched it, I was getting into movies, and I had seen Clerks as a teenager, and I was probably like 15 years old, and I was like, Clerks is funny. I've heard about Jay and Silent Bob and all those other movies. I should watch more of them. And I caught Mallrats on TV, and I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. This is awful. This movie sucks. And then like 3 months later, a year later or something, it was on TV again, and I had just gotten home from school and it had just started, and I was tired and bored, and I was like, I guess it's on, whatever. And for some reason, that time I watched it, I thought it was the funniest movie ever made. I was 15 and I thought everything with the like chocolate covered pretzels was hilarious. I'd somehow already seen Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, so Michael Rooker worked even better for me, and I thought it was amazing. And then it just remained that in my head for me for a while, and then when I was in college, I was like, I need like a funny thing to put on. I'm gonna put on Mallrats, and immediately it went off like a lead balloon, and I was like, what if this was funny? This is terrible. I like these actors, but this is awful.
That's the thing. There's a lot that's good about it. Like the cast is, there's a lot of charming people in the cast.
Joey Lauren Adams is there.
You've got Joey Lauren Adams and
Jason Lee.
Like good people in the cast. I don't know. It's a fun idea. It just, his writing to me is like nails across the chalkboard. I'd be curious to rewatch Chasing Amy. That's the one I haven't seen since the 90s. And someone recommended a documentary called Chasing Amy. That's supposed to be quite interesting.
Directed by Sav Rogers. It's who's one of the heads of the Trans Film Center. It's a very, very good documentary.
But otherwise, I'm out with Kevin Smith. Seems like a nice guy. Wish him all the best. I don't need to see another Kevin Smith movie. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. He's kind of like devolved into like raconteur status, where he like goes to college campuses and does like stand-up routines and stuff like that. And let him. That's great. That's lovely. I've bumped into him at Pinocchio's in Burbank before, and he's always been very kind and very nice. I've never like gone up to him and be like, oh my God, Kevin Smith. But it's always like, oh, hey. It's like,
I remember he had a reality show where he and his friends like talked about comic books, and I think that's a great place for him.
Yeah. You know he owns a movie theater in New Jersey. Like, he makes tiny little indie movies at his movie theater in New Jersey, and Lionsgate releases them, and sure.
That's perfect.
That's the level he should be on. The fact that in the 90s we elevated him to like the god king of pop culture next to Quentin Tarantino was very bizarre. The fact that he wrote a Superman movie for Nicolas Cage and Tim Burton in the mid 90s is
I bear
weird.
him no ill will, truly. He seems like a nice guy. I actively hate his writing so much that I'm done. I'm good.
I think about him similar to the way I think about M. Night Shyamalan, in the way that, like, it's kind of weird that for a while this was the biggest person in the world, and now they're working like really independently and making like smaller things kind of for themselves, and then in like a smaller lane. And I'm like, yeah, actually, Trap is better than The Sixth Sense, maybe. Like, that's kind of what you're more attuned to. I want to see that and not The Village. Okay, cool. Granted, I think artists should have the support of studios and like governments to be able to make whatever they want. And it would be a better time if people like that were able to be big successes and talked about and get to host SNL and all that shit like that. But at the same time, I think there are other filmmakers and aspects of the community that we could be putting on our shoulders like that, instead of like, of all the comedies come out in the early 90s, like, again, to your point, like, Empire Records was a cult hit, but Mallrats was like a big universal, like,
yeah.
Alan Moyle wasn't hosting late night shows.
I'll say this. I mean, Kevin Smith has a real voice. I don't like his voice, but it's there. I guess I would rather have like a voice that I don't like than directors with no voice, of which there are many successful directors. So I don't know.
I will also say I've listened to him on enough podcasts where like I like the podcast and he comes on as a guest and stuff like that. And the way he thinks about himself and his career, he would agree with everything we're saying.
He seems like a nice guy, which is why
He's very down to earth and very grounded based on what I've heard from him. So
I'd love to listen to him talk about movies similar to Tarantino. I mean, I know that you don't like Tarantino, and sometimes I get annoyed listening to him talk about movies actually, but I do like his movies. I think Kevin Smith would be a cool dude to like talk about movies or books with.
Yes. I would love to have a 3-hour sit down conversation with him. I would love to have him as a guest on this show. Like,
I know.
I would love to have
Let's
a
talk about
conversation
Giallo movies with Kevin Smith. I bet he would have cool things to say.
I bet it would be amazing. However, I don't think we're going to be covering Tusk anytime soon.
Maybe we should.
Come on, Kev.
Or Red State. Remember that movie?
We'll go on Smodcast if you come on Bloodhaus.
Anyway, what about you? What have you been watching?
Well, I also watched a scrappy little trashy New Jersey set film this week. I went to ye old AMC theaters down the block from my house.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
And I went to go see the new film from Tromaville. I went to go see the remake of The Toxic Avenger, directed by Macon Blair.
Okay.
It's really fun.
Oh, good.
It's what you would want out of a 2025, like, mid-budget take on a trauma film. Like,
that's great.
The weirdest thing, it sat on a shelf for 2 years. It is being released by Cineverse, who put out the Terrifier films. So, very small independent horror distribution company, which is fitting. But the production company logos come up, and the main production company that produced this movie is Legendary Films.
Oh,
who
really?
made Crimson Peak.
Huge.
Dune.
Yeah.
So, like, the idea that the people that have been, like, making, like, Denis Villeneuve and Guillermo del Toro movies were like, let's give Macon Blair, that dude from Green Room who made one small indie movie, a budget to go reboot The Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
Is insane. It's really fun. Like, you know.
Who plays Toxie? It's that little person, right?
It's Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, that's the name I was looking for.
Yeah, it's Peter Dinklage, and then you get Jacob Tremblay playing his stepson that he has an emotional bond with. Taylor Page is in it, who's amazing. And then you get the baddies played by Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood. And Elijah Wood's character design is like 2 parts Richard O'Brien, 1 part Peter Lorre. He's like always in a black suit with a bolo tie. He's got like mismatched creeper shoes that are like so elevated, and he's got the walks with a cane, and then he's got this long stringy black hair that's bald on top, and then has a little patch of hair in the front that's also crazy long and droops over his face.
I love that.
Such a good look. Lloyd Kaufman has a cameo, of course.
Did Troma actually make it, or is it just licensed through them?
It's licensed through them, but it is produced by Michael Hurds and Lloyd Kaufman. So there's Troma involvement. Yeah. And there's a lot of nods to Nukem High and their other films and stuff like that. And the best part is that it's taking that tone and that spirit and doing it in 2025 in a way that rounds off some of the edges of the 1980s Troma films. I love Class of Nukem High, but I can't show it to anyone anymore because it's,
of course,
super fucking racist.
Yeah.
What a shock. And there's also, regrettable elements in some of the other early Troma movies. And this really takes a perspective of, we are going to be edgy and gross and weird, but we are going to punch in the right direction, essentially. And by that, I mean punch in the right direction. It's a very pro-labor, anti-huckster, anti-corrupt government kind of movie. There's a like midpoint action set piece set at a hostage scene at a burger restaurant, which has changed its name from Mr. Meat to Miss Meat, and is being is under siege from transphobic men's rights activists that are mad that Mr. Meat is now Miss Meat. And like the production design of the burger restaurant is so good because they've got this design of Miss Meat that's like this hot sexy lady with like a hamburger for a head, and there's these like hot like lady legs like through the restaurant in the middle of it. And there's so all these signs outside. They're like hot new bod, same great grub. Like,
that's so funny because it was made years before the Cracker Barrel scandal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like psychic.
Yep.
I will say about Troma,
really funny.
You're right about Troma, except that I feel like they always kind of meant well in the way that we always talk about.
They generally do. They're always on the side of the little guy and of the freak.
Of the little guy. I wrote Lloyd Kaufman an email when I was 14 about being gay and in the closet, and he wrote me back. I have a printout of it, and he was very affirming and said that I should be myself and that it was okay. It was very kind, and so I have a lot of goodwill towards them.
And
I grew up on those movies. So
Lloyd Kaufman is an admitted like huckster and will like tell you he will sell your movie for no money and maybe not to license your movie to him. But he's also like, he's incredibly supportive. He has very progressive politics. And also it should be noted that Troma is still making independent, scrappy, trashy little movies in New York these days. And the majority of them are directed by Dylan Greenberg, who's a huge fucking trans filmmaker. Yeah. And she's making these like insane trans splatter horror movies. She doesn't get the love of, Alice McKay and stuff like that, but she's making she's keeping the Troma legend alive with these like absolutely goopy nightmare movies.
Oh, I'd love to see some of those. I don't know those.
That you would want. They're very, very, very fun. And like Celine Kapsaski made a movie for Troma a couple of years ago, and like there's been a lot of that, so it really makes sense. Peter Dinklage is really, really good and really, really fun as Winston Goose, and then as the Toxic Avenger. All of the character names are so funny. Fritz Garbinger, like they're all so good. There's a kind of insane clown posse Korn-esque band in the movie called the Killer Nuts that are a team of assassins as well. that are really funny. It's truly like brainless, mindless, like schlock fun. The gore is disgusting. There's a lot of like really funny gags. It is truly like Naked Gun level humor.
That sounds fun.
It's a really good time, and I don't know if you've seen this, but Cineverse is using their marketing budget, or at least part of their marketing budget, to, rather than like do some big like stunt promotion or something for the movie, to pay off medical debt.
Oh, wow.
So part of the plot point of the movie is that they are like, obviously, or they've moved it from just being set in the gym to being like, there is now this like health brand run by Kevin Bacon that's been polluting St. Roma Village, Tromaville, for 20, 30 years. And Peter Dinklage's character is like being fucked around by his insurance and by them, and has like developed a horrible, like life-threatening medical condition from working for this company before he turns into Toxie. And that's like a major like part and like thrust of the movie that is connected to the real world. And so they paid off $5 million of medical debt.
That's so cool.
And for every $1 million that the movie makes at the box office, they'll pay off another $1 million. Because it's so great. Because it's cheaper to buy debt than the dollar value of the debt. Right?
Yeah. So what happens? I know that like a lot of DSA branches have been doing this too. So what happens is they'll have a fundraiser, and you buy this debt for like, you know, like because what happens is if you, all these unpaid medical bills eventually go to debt consolidation companies. And so you can buy the debt for pennies on the dollar. So you could buy like a whole bunch of medical debt for $100,000, but that's like millions of dollars worth of medical debt. And once you buy it, it becomes yours. So you can do whatever you want with it, including just eliminating it, forgiving it.
Yeah.
So you can buy like, I don't know, I'm just making these numbers up, but like $3 million worth of debt for $100,000, and you can just like forgive it, and all those people are just forgiven. So it's a thing that more and more people are doing. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Huge. It's a huge impact. And Cineverse, like I said, it's a small company, they made all their money off of Terrifier, which is it's also very funny.
Huge movies.
Which it's funny that the director of Terrifier very recently was like, they're not political and people shouldn't be putting politics into horror movies. And then the Toxic Avenger reboot is extremely political, extremely funny, and extremely splattery, and is going to work for the exact same audience just as well. And Cineverse is literally putting their money where their mouth is in such an amazing way, and
I love that. Really, that's so cool.
If there's literally ever been a positive reason to go see the Toxic Avenger, here you go. Literally, your ticket will go towards forgiving someone's medical debt. Like, that's insane.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
They should do that with all movies.
Yeah, I mean, if only.
But then also, that's like a charitable like expenditure, so that's the tax write-off for the like. It's all around, like, I don't know. Yeah. It's the kind of thing that, like, it aggravates me to think, why aren't people... Doesn't this happen more?
I mean, come on.
Anyway.
Anyway.
But then I will also just say, just because it's amazing and awesome, that this weekend there was... IMAX limited re-release for this weekend alone that my girlfriend and I went to, and that was Prince's Sign of the Times concert film, which is maybe the best concert film ever made.
Really?
I would put it on equal, if not higher plane than Stop Making Sense.
Wow.
I think it's genuinely amazing. It is truly like 90 minutes of Prince and his band going the fuck off. Both performative and also like the filmmaking aesthetic, directed by Prince. So good. It was so cool to see it on a massive screen, and with an insane sound design. It will maybe be the last IMAX screening I attend, because it was an IMAX exclusive event. It was like through FilmRise and IMAX, so that was the only way to see it. Because IMAX is now funneling a bunch of money into creating AI short films, and then or features or freaking whatever, with the theory of then like screening them at IMAX venues. They're getting into AI quote unquote production. So that will be the last thing I see at an IMAX. I will just see everything else in regular or Dolby or fucking. There's 17 different like quote unquote premium formats. I'm also done seeing A24 films theatrically.
Gosh,
I will rent them from video stores if I have to see them or something. I will ensure that my money goes to someone other than them. For those that don't know, they have taken investment from the firm that invests in and owns OpenAI.
Yeah.
To create an AI production division at A24, which is being run by a man who created Adobe's AI tools and who has direct ties to the Trump administration.
Right.
Cool.
It's not good. It's not good. It's all
not
bad.
good.
Everywhere you look, it's
funny
dark.
Considering how many of the big quote unquote A24 filmmakers, Daniel Kwan, Ari Aster, that have put out really big statements lately, being like, it's a death knell, and we need to, like, as an artistic community, to come together against this thing, for the like shop that it's hoping to like keep banking on them to be like, nah, we're gonna force it on you. I can foresee a lot of those filmmakers stepping away from them. I mean, Robert Eggers already has a lot of those people that cut their teeth and got themselves set up there are moving away from it.
I feel so much dread about AI, and I follow it very closely. It just seems to me that if it were so good, they wouldn't have to force it on us, right? Like, it's on Microsoft Word, it's on Adobe, every software that I have, it's suddenly there, and I don't want it. I didn't ask for it.
Every time I open a PDF in Adobe Acrobat, I have to turn off 3 things that are trying to make me use AI mode to read a PDF.
And compare that to when they introduced the internet. I was maybe like 12, and my brother and I would have fist fights to get on the internet for 5 minutes. Like, that's the difference between these things. Like, the difference between them is pretty deep. And it just makes me feel like they're forcing it on us because they're desperate and they need it to continue to bilk money from shareholders. And they know that the bubble is about to burst because most of these companies aren't earning any money and have no profit model. And ChatGPT 5 is worse than ChatGPT 4. And the grift is about to come to a swift stop, and the jig is up. I mean, I think LLMs are here to stay, and chatbots, but like the promise of like artificial general intelligence and all of this other stuff, like, that's not coming. And it's just been a lie this whole time to like bilk money from venture capitalists.
It's the thing that annoys me so much is it's not the magic wand they're selling it as. And it's not actual artificial intelligence in any way, shape, or form. It's programmed machine learning. It's literally code. Yeah. It's nothing beyond that.
Well, speaking of dystopia,
woo!
We have
Bong Joon-ho, baby.
We've got a great movie today. This is a movie that I picked simply because I wanted to watch something fun and I wanted to rewatch this. It's the kind of movie we don't really get to watch that much on Bloodhaus, frankly, because it's a big monster movie from 2006, directed by Bong Joon-ho. It is The Host. Now, it is tempting to look at this as like a big, fun commercial blockbuster, which it is. It is one of the most profitable South Korean movies of all time. At the time it came out, it was the most profitable South Korean movie of all time. And it is a crowd pleaser. It is fun. It is splashy. It is a big, fun monster movie, but it's also super weird. It is
it's
a genre,
visually,
a genre mashup.
It's visually dark. It's visually like a very desaturated, like bleach bypass palette, and then on top of that, it's a very like serious, grim subject matter with like intersperses of like dark, fucked up humor.
Yeah, it's got a really unusual tone. It's a genre mashup. It's a weird movie. It's by Bong Joon-ho, who won the Oscar for Parasite. So I think it qualifies as as an art film. And it would anyway, because it's South Korean, and let's be honest, we're Americans. So anything in a foreign language is arty.
But additionally, I think that the intent and execution of this movie on a sociopolitical level also qualifies it as an art film in the same way that Toshiro Hondo's Godzilla is like the first Godzilla movie is very much also, and many other Godzilla movies. Granted, like, you know, you get to like the Saturday morning fun time Godzilla movies, and but this is a monster movie of a different color, and I love it so dearly, and I got very excited when you proposed this.
Such a blast.
It is such a blast, but it's also a very stressful, stressful watch. I was rewatching it for this. I'd only seen for the very first time like within the past year.
Oh, really?
It's one of my girlfriend's favorite movies of all time. She frequently will say that she could deliver a 3-hour lecture on The Host. And she, you know, is a huge fan, has been a huge fan for a very long time. And she finally showed it to me. Also, I should say Ishiro Hondo. I wanted to make sure I got his name right. A few months ago, almost a year ago probably, and I love Bong Joon-ho, and I somehow hadn't gotten to this or Mother, but I kind of had the perception of like, oh, based on all the like American marketing materials for it, like, oh, it's very visually dark, it's very tonally very dark, it's very dire, it's very stressful. And I was like, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch a major disaster movie and stuff. We'll see. But it's a Bong Joon-ho movie. There's still like flying kicks and idiots and like a whole group of family wailing at a mass funeral as like a comedic beat, and like I loved it. I think it's one of his best movies. And rewatching it for this, I watched it with the commentary track after I watched it with Bong Joon-ho and Tony Rayns. And Ivory came into the room and was like, "You watching The Host?" And I was like, "Yeah, you do it for the podcast. I just have the commentary on right now," while I was like doing other things. And she was like, "Oh, I've got some stuff to do." And I was like, "Okay, we'll hang out and you can do your stuff and while this is on." And she just got sucked fully into the movie again.
Yeah.
It's like, despite the commentary track being on, despite other things happening in the room, was just like, "Oh my God, this is so scary. I can't believe when this happens." And this, I was like, she just was totally not even listening to the commentary track, totally didn't even do what she needed to get done because The Host is on.
Yeah. It's so good. I mean, especially to me, the first 20 minutes or so are just so electric and terrifying because it's pretty bold to just like show the monster in broad daylight, right?
Yeah.
As soon as the movie begins, but that's what happens. The movie follows Park Gang-doo, who's played by the wonderful Song Kang-ho, who's like a legend. He plays sort of a dim-witted attendant at a snack shack along the Han River that he owns with his family, his elderly father and his 2 siblings. And he lives with his daughter, who's 13. His wife has left many years in the past and is not in the picture. And he's sort of just like a dude, shiftless, somewhat dim-witted.
Bleach blonde,
sweatpants. He eats people's food on the way to deliver it to them. And
he saves up money for his daughter to go to college by saving coins in an old like udon.
No, he's
like
saving for her to get a new cell phone that doesn't embarrass her. So anyways, the river is promptly attacked by a giant sea monster catfish kind of thing. But I guess I'm getting ahead of myself because really the movie begins with an American military scientist who forces a Korean subservient to dump bottle after bottle after bottle after bottle of formaldehyde down the drain, which dumps into the Han River, causing sightings of a strange sea creature. Now, this actually happened, and this is what inspired Bong Joon-ho to write the movie. He imagined the mutant creature part of it, but this was actually a real event. So
yeah, the McFarland incident, which happened in 2000 in Seoul, and it was literally like exactly this: a middle-aged American mortician working for a U.S. military outpost was super anal retentive, and he got mad when he noticed that there were bottles of formaldehyde gathering dust, and he was very anti-dust. Everything must be clean, and he forced his Korean attendants to flush it down the drain, and they fought with him, and they told him that like this will pollute the Han River, which cuts right through the middle of the city and is like the main source of a lot of South Korea's drinking water.
Right.
And he like threatened to fire them, and they did it anyway. It fucking caused a major scandal, a major press uproar. It caused a huge bout of like anti-American protests in South Korea, justifiably. And Albert McFarland was like tried and found guilty of intentionally toxically polluting the river, and was sentenced to and served 6 months in a South Korean prison, and then was released and was back to operating as American outpost morgue in South Korea, and was doing so in 2006 when this movie was released.
Oh my God.
Which is fucking insane.
Yeah, you might say that this movie is in some ways critical of Americans' involvement in Korean life.
And in the way that the South Korean government kind of folds under the pressure and leadership of the American intervention in their country. Yeah.
So during the initial attack, Park Gang-do fights alongside an American soldier who loses both of his arms but lives. And we follow this American soldier through the news and learn that he has contracted some sort of virus. So parallel to this, Park Gang-do's daughter is kidnapped by the monster and taken away, presumably to its lair, and they think she's been killed. So the whole family and all of the families who've lost someone gather for a mass funeral, and the military shows up to collect them all because they believe that they have all contracted a virus from this monster, and they all go into quarantine because of this American soldier. During this quarantine, Park Gang-do receives a cell phone call from his daughter who's alive and inside the monster's lair. And so he and the family, his two adult siblings and their father, escape quarantine to go find the girl. And what ensues is like the military is after them, and the daughter is in the monster's hole trying to escape. And, it's crazy. There's all sorts of factions, and I don't know what else to say about it besides that, really.
Yeah, it turns into 3 different strands. You get to see the daughter trying to escape the hold of the monster in its little alcove, and also her taking care of a young
homeless
kid
boy
that's been deposited in there with her. So as they're trying to save her, she's trying to save him. Then the family is trying to break out of quarantine and rush out to save her. Meanwhile, the Korean and American governments are chasing them down and treating them as like public enemy number 1, and focusing so much more on this viral outbreak and on them than the massive monster.
Yes.
In the river. And, we have to get into spoilers to discuss some of the better things about this movie. So I'm going to say right now, if you haven't seen The Host, please turn this off. Please go watch the movie before you listen to the rest of this. I'm going to spoil a big thing that's from the end of the movie right now. So please, I don't want to ruin it for you. I'll let you go do that. Okay. Yeah, so the virus isn't real.
Yes.
There is no virus. It is created by the American government to take attention off of the monster, and also to kind of quell and control any like uprest
criticism.
Yeah. Horrifying. It should be noted up front that there's like 3 American characters that like cross through this film at 3 different points that all make things worse. Every time they step in, they're presented as like white male American authority figure that's going to make things better and in fact makes things worse. So you get the doctor at the mortician at the beginning who causes everything, who's played by Scott Wilson, who was one of the leads in Cold Blood in the 60s.
Yeah.
He was in the Heat of the Night. He was in Monster in the early 2000s. He's in Ninth Configuration. He's like a pretty big get.
Yeah.
And then you get the American tourist, American soldier, whatever, on leave, who, when Song Kang-ho is initially like dealing with the first attack of the monster at the river, you like as an audience are kind of like, oh, there's the Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's the like Brad Pitt action hero who's gonna stand up and fight this,
right?
And immediately gets a shit rocked.
Right.
Well, I think Bong Joon-ho also said that he took like intentional pains to make Song Kang-ho and every member of their family seem as stupid and as inept as possible. Literally, like he in his commentary track, he was talking about Song Kang-ho's bleached hair, and he was like, "I think it looks stupid." He was like, "I think he looks so hot.
I think he's hot."
He was like, "I think it makes him look stupid, and the like roots have grown out a lot." And he was like, "That's both a sign of his laziness and of his financial status, that he can't like just go get his roots done, that they've been growing out this long, and also that he's lazy and hasn't taken the time to take care of himself." His brother,
I think he's hot, and I think his brother is also really hot.
His brother is a like former political activist from like when he was a student in the 1980s, when Korea was under a military dictatorship. And now he doesn't know what to do with himself and is just an alcoholic. And the sister is an Olympic competing archer. And at the beginning of the movie, we watch her compete on television where she receives a bronze medal, which apparently in the original script, she was supposed to win the gold on TV. And one of the co-screenwriters was like, let's make it bronze. Let's bring everyone down a little bit so we can't really trust that they can get the job done.
Good instinct.
But it goes to the American soldier scene that like you like also Song Kang-ho's performance is so I feel like he never closes his mouth.
He's such a good actor.
He sells the idiot thing so well.
He really does. But then he goes to such emotional depths in this movie, like the grief that he has for his lost daughter. And I mean, he's just so good.
The scene where he loses her is gut-wrenching. Everyone's running away from the monster. This movie's so goddamn well structured and storyboarded. And he's running with her, and we're in very tight shots on them as they're running away. And the camera just kind of follows down to his hand holding on, and then out to reveal that is a different girl.
Right, it's not
his daughter,
a different girl. Yeah,
and then has to like turn around and look, and the like pit of your stomach drops out.
Yeah,
to see his daughter back there, and we get a lot of like tight close-ups on him at the realization, and he does nothing.
Yeah,
a similar scene happens later on in the movie that's paralleled with his father. When a similar thing happens and his father just does nothing because there's nothing that he can do.
That use of the camera also happens in other ways too, where it just makes the pit of your stomach drop. Like there's a scene where the daughter has made a rope ladder to get out of the monster's pit, and she's climbing. She thinks that the monster is asleep, and then you're really tight on her, and then suddenly she lets go of the rope, but she's still in the air, and it sort of zooms out, and you see that the monster has got her around the waist, and it just gently puts her on the floor. It's really upsetting and creepy.
It's really surreally blocked to like. I mean, really fuck with your brain.
He's just such a good director. He's so good.
Yeah, that entire sequence of her escape or attempt at escape is like so well structured and well shot. And in the commentary track, when they get to that sequence, you know, he talked about the technical aspects of making a lot of the film and a lot of the choices. And they get to that, and he was like, oh, yeah, this is just a suspense sequence. So this was really easy. It's just very Hitchcock. So we just toned everything down. Everything gets quiet. And, you know, it just shot, structure. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is like one of the most stressful, thought out and conceived sequences in the whole movie. And you're throwing it off. It's like, oh, yeah, I just did the Hitchcock thing here.
Well, I guess to him, it's all technical. It's like it's like a math problem or something. You know, if you're that good, it must feel that way.
One of my favorite elements in that sequence is that after that has happened and she's been put back on the ground, she's like has to say stock still to not wake it up anymore. And a like spider starts crawling up her shoulder, and it's just such a small like bad to worse moment that's innocuous and doesn't really do anything, but it's so, I don't know, it's so real that like the movie moment of this is really glamorous and stressful, and you've got the dirt on just the right part of your face, and like if you're gonna die in glory and all that stuff. But it's like
that part fucked. I'm really afraid of spiders, so that part fucks with me a lot.
It's so horrifying.
You forgot to mention the third white person that fucks up this movie, which is the cross-eyed guy from Silence of the Lambs that flirts with Clarice Starling.
Yep, it's Jonathan Demme's favorite character actor, Paul Lazar, who is a theater director in New York. He's in Philadelphia, Married to the Mob, Rachel Getting Married, Demme's remake of Manchurian Candidate. Basically, almost any Jonathan Demme movie he shows up. He's so good in Married to the Mob. The scene where he's killed is it's so funny, and it flips on a dime to being like so heartbreaking. For like a mob goon that you've barely had any time with and who's been nothing but a joke the whole movie.
I just think it's such a joy when he shows up in anything. I was like, yay, when he showed up here. What a treat.
I know, I got very excited, and then he plays maybe the most sinister character.
Most odious character.
Who basically admits that, like, yeah, the virus probably isn't real.
But he plays.
But let's give this guy.
It's so funny. The way it's shot and scripted is really funny in sort of a nasty way, you know?
Well, it's also like a really like funny, like darkly funny casting choice to get him too, not to get like Martin Sheen or like an elder statesman, to get an American character actor who's known for having a crossed eye and known for playing the goofy guys in Jonathan Demme movies. Like even in Silence of the Lambs, he's used as a goofier thing. Like he's the like bug insect expert who like he gets some tight close-ups that are stressful and stuff, but then he starts flirting with her. And,
but also, I mean, it's kind of mean, but like somebody with a lazy eye is about to give you a lobotomy. You know what I mean? It's like like a gremlin is gonna give you, like the crazy eye gremlin from Gremlins 2 is gonna take a saw to your head or whatever. Not that people with lazy eyes are like the googly-eyed gremlin, but that's kind of what this is playing at. You know what I mean? And it's very mean. It's kind of mean casting.
And you know what? He used him again in Snowpiercer.
Yeah, which is another movie I love.
We should also mention that the sister, the bronze medal winning sister, is played by Bae Doona, who was like really big in Korea at the time. She did the movie Linda, Linda, Linda in Japan, like right after, which is amazing. But then quickly got picked up by the Wachowskis and has been in like multiple, which she's like one of the leads in Sense8. She's one of the leads in Cloud Atlas. She's in Jupiter Ascending. Like the Wachowskis love her and love putting her in
I haven't seen any of that.
She was also in Koreeda's Air Doll and Broker, also with Song Kang-ho recently, and she was also used by Zack Snyder in his Star Wars knockoff movies for Netflix. But she,
wait, what are his Star Wars knockoffs?
Rebel Moon.
Oh, is that not a Star Wars movie?
No.
I just thought that was literally a Star Wars movie.
That was his hope. really quickly, Rebel Moon exists because Zack Snyder wanted to make a Star Wars, and he pitched Kathleen Kennedy this story, and she said no. And he got real mad, and he went to Netflix where he had an overall deal because he'd been making the zombie movies, and said, I want to make a Star Wars. Here's my pitch. And they said, okay, we'll just not call it Star Wars. So it's called Rebel Moon. It's in 2 parts. And then he put out a 6-hour version that's both of the movies together. And they tanked, and they're considered to be very bad. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But Baytuna is in that as well. And she was also in Bong's first movie, Barking Dogs Never Bite, which I need to see still. Anyway, she's amazing. The cast is great. His father is also played by Byun-hee Bong, who was in Barking Dogs, Members of Murder, Okja. He's one of Bong Joon-ho's favorite actors, and who was a big actor when Bong Joon-ho was growing up, and is used a lot in his movies. He just passed away 2 years ago. He's really good as the patriarch of the family, and I like how much of this movie is centered around pulling this family together to this tragedy. It's implied that the other brother and sister don't really talk, and especially don't really talk to Song Kang-ho. They kind of treat him as the idiot of the family who stayed working for their dad's snack shack, which is kind of cruel. But additionally, the concept of doing a big monster disaster movie really locked in from both the visual and emotional perspective of a single family is really different than the Irwin Allen American disaster movie, or even Japanese Godzilla movie perspective. Those are always treated as ensemble, Nashville-esque stories.
Yes. I do have to say, I think this movie's a little too long. It's 2 hours. I wouldn't mind if it were 20 minutes shorter.
I can see that.
And I also think, I have to say that the CGI hasn't aged super well. It's not bad. It just it doesn't look as good as it did when I saw this in 2006. I have to say, and that's fine. Movies age, and it is what it is. If this were all practicals, it would look better. That's just the way that it is.
I do love the design of the creature, and I love how the creature moves.
Yeah.
I love that it's kind of bubbling and mutated, and its eyes are fucked up. I love how it's mostly just a mouth.
Yes. I mean, we also see the monster so much and in broad daylight, right? Compare that to a movie that came out just after this. I was going to say Cloverfield, which is also CGI and from 2008. That's all at night. We see the monster much less often, and it's found footage. So it's a little bit easier to pull off.
The other comp is Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, which came out the year before this and is also very much about a family unit dealing with monster alien invasion and stuff like that, and is doing that it's Tom Cruise, so he's going to be fine, right? Even though he's trying to play that he's a guy from Boston. And he's also having to take care of his kids and get them through essentially a war zone. But that you see the big tripod thing at the beginning, but you don't see aliens. You don't see monster designs until the end. The big one that Bong Joon-ho mentioned as a reference point was Signs. Speaking of
I love that movie, Signs. I think it's a good movie.
Don't like Signs. I think Signs is stupid.
I mean, all of the story about him being an ex-priest who's lost his faith and blah blah blah, all that stuff sucks so bad. But it has some really good scares in it.
It does. When I was a child and I saw it, I was horrified by it. Yeah. And then when I saw it again later, and I was like, this is... They're it's like wood and water are their like weaknesses. What are we doing?
I don't know, Drusilla. But when there's like the little kid birthday party and the
That's
alien
terrifying.
It's scary.
It's really scary.
It's a good scare.
But I really love the choice of like just fully revealing the monster at the beginning of this, because it takes away that suspense of like, oh, what could it be? Which could be a letdown.
Yeah.
For some movies, and have been in some movies. But then additionally, you know what it looks like, you know how it moves, you know its MO, you know how it travels, you know what it's capable of, that it can like grab people with its tail, that can whip people around, that it can grab people with its tongue, like it can do all this shit. That it can like hang from the rafters of a bridge, it can do all of these things. The way it moves
is cool.
It's really awesome. And so throughout, like after that big confrontation at the beginning, you don't see it for a lot of the rest of the movie.
Well, that's why, I mean, the impact doesn't kind of wear off, because then it disappears for a lot of the second act, you know, and then we're with the family and it's more of a thriller through the city where like different government factions are chasing the family and they're trying to get away, and you don't spend much time with the monster. So anytime you come back to it, it still has a lot of impact because you haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, and it has the ability to operate like a jump scare when it does pop back up, because it could be anywhere, which is a lot of the like hunt and mystery of the film. But additionally, I think also it works to the like thematic conceit of the movie, the way that the government is treating the virus as the important thing and not the monster. There's visually, and from storytelling devices and choices, we get so much more of the city freaking out about that. And we get so many more people in hazmat gear, and we get the introduction of this Agent Yellow thing, and we get people in masks constantly, and like some really good gags with that. There's the great bit where the movie slows down for a second to get you the people at the subway, at like the bus stop. And the one guy is coughing through his mask, and everyone steps aside until he spits into the puddle, and then the bus splashes all of that water on all of them. So mean.
Yes, very 2020 flashbacks there.
Horrifying. Yeah. But like similarly, the government seems to just not, and the media seems to not acknowledge this monster as it like goes away into hiding, and then create this like invisible monster out of whole cloth. And the movie kind of allows its monster to hide at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
Man, Bong Joon-ho has like the best class politics. We could really use a little of that here in the West.
It's like, really funny that on the commentary track, Tony Rayans, who's a great Asian film scholar and just film scholar, was interviewing him. And he was like mentioning that like, oh, there's so many, all these like sociopolitical choices throughout the movie. And Bong was like, circa 2006, 2007, when he recorded this commentary track, was like, oh, I don't think of myself as a political guy. I just think I'm like any guy that think like any like person thinks about this kind of stuff. And I'm like, no. He's like, I'm not like a Marxist or anything like that. But I'm like,
yes, you are.
But he's much more like actively politically involved these days. But additionally, like they were talking about the choice of making the family kind of lower middle class and being on the fringes of society in that way, and the fact that the only like people that help the family being the like homeless guy near the end. And he was like, I just find those characters more interesting and more relatable. And that's same. I find them more interesting because they have more to fight for and more to struggle for. But additionally, they're more kicked down, and everyone that they think they can trust throughout the movie is financially motivated and is not on their side at all. They have to bribe,
it's like the mafia.
Yeah. And even the friends, the brother's like old political compatriot that he's like, I can lean on him for help, immediately sells him out.
Yes.
In a really funny set piece.
I just thought of, this is not the movie we were talking about, but the great scene in Snowpiercer, where Tilda Swinton, she's the villain, right? It's
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton, who's like, not everyone is born a hat. Most people are shoes. You are shoes. Be shoes. Be a shoe. Like, that whole monologue is so good. He's just such a good filmmaker. He's so good.
He's so smart. His shit rocks so goddamn hard. I deeply love the way that he elevates and plays with the monster movie genre in this way. He stated that he wanted to make a monster movie. He wanted to make a monster movie for Korea.
Like a kaiju movie, yeah.
Yeah. And that he took the McFarlane incident as his example in the same way that Hiroshima was the kind of jumping off point for Godzilla. He was like, we can use that, we can ground it in what's actually happening so that we're like speaking to our community. He also was really specific about the design of the creature looking like a fish you would see in that river.
It looks like a catfish.
Yeah, and not looking like, the American perspective of an Asian monster. He was like, they always make it look like a dragon, which I hate.
Yeah.
He's like, I wanted to make it look like something that would live in that river, which is, it feels really real. I also love that almost every single location is actually a real location in the movie. In South Korea, rather. The only scene that was like a built set was where the daughter is kept by the monster. Yeah, the lair. I don't know. I love it.
This movie was a co-production with Japan, and I don't quite understand like the politics and the cultural significance around that, or how common that is. Someone from Korea or Japan would have to tell me. I don't really understand, because it's in Korean and it's all Korean people, and I don't know how common that is, or not.
It seems to me that my understanding is that it's at least fairly common, in that like Baeduna like has, and at that time had a really successful career between Korea and Japan, as did a few of the other actors in this movie. And I think there's a lot of cross-pollination between the two countries, at least like cultural
he's certainly inspired by Japanese films, right? Godzilla, etc. So I guess that's in the mix. Just think it's interesting, especially with the history that Korea has of like being, under the heel of Japan before they were under the heel of America. It's not all positive vibes there. So interesting. I just would like to know more, I guess, is all I'm getting at.
Same. I guess, the other big like Japanese film reference point that I saw Bong Joon-ho cite for this was Akira Kurosawa's High and Low. He was saying that he wanted to make a monster movie, but he didn't want to structure it like a monster movie. He wanted to ground it within the family. So he was saying that the way they thought about it when they were writing and even storyboarding it was that it would be treated like a kidnapping movie, or like a hostage movie.
Yeah.
Where instead of being kidnapped by like some bad guys or the mob, their daughter's kidnapped by a fucking monster.
A monster. That's super interesting.
Which is fair. And that's why a lot of the middle section in this movie operates more like a thriller. It's like, rainy city streets and like having to get a car and
chases.
Like how many shells are in the shotgun I gave my dad, and
God,
and them being outlaws and on the run and things like that. I don't know. I love this movie. I find it so good and so stressful. I just hope that contemporary audiences aren't taking the wrong message from this movie of like, see, the virus was fake all along. I feel like,
oh God, I didn't even think of that.
I don't want people, but I also feel like people
RFK
that would have
was right.
I, however, feel like people that have that take wouldn't be watching this movie to begin with.
They're too stupid to watch a movie with subtitles.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think RFK has seen this or Parasite.
It's funny. I think since this movie came out, Korean stuff has become so much more popular in America. I mean, right now, K-pop Demon Hunter is like the most popular thing on Netflix, but Also,
to the point that it broke their model, that it did so well that they then put it in theaters.
Squid Game, same, huge. Yeah. And a lot of this is because of Bong Joon-ho. I mean, Parasite winning the Best Picture that year was a big, big, big deal.
Yeah.
So he's the
I think of all, I love the Korean New Wave films of the late 90s and early 2000s from Kim Ji-woon, who we've talked about on the show a few times, and Park Chan-wook, and the way that all three of those guys know each other and work together and like are familiar with each other's work and share actors and share concepts. And I really love how they've been able to break through and really like not only get attention in America, but like change and affect American culture.
Yeah.
That's really fucking amazing. And all three of them have made American films to differing success. I will say that Kim Ji-woon's one American film, The Last Stand with Johnny Knoxville and Arnold Schwarzenegger, is really dumb and really fun, and I do recommend it. But of course, like Okja and Snowpiercer and Mickey 17 are very good and very fun, and you should watch them. It's funny to watch The Host, where he's got all of those like class politics and like general politics like threaded into the background of the film, and then Mickey 17, it's a lot more like, let's thread that a little bit higher. American audiences might be a little stupider.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, can you imagine American, like normal Americans in the 2000s watching a Korean television show with subtitles in masses?
Never would have.
That would like never have happened.
Never would have happened. A friend of mine whose mother lives back in Indiana, in the past handful of years, I think since 2020, I think Squid Game had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that's what
has
I mean.
become
that's what I'm talking about.
Obsessed with Korean television.
Yeah.
And she's like a woman in her 40s or 50s. And no, 50, like, yeah, definitely in her 50s at this point. And like all she wants to do is watch Korean TV. All she wants to do is talk about Korean melodramas. And then from that has gotten her into K-pop. I
mean, it's cool.
It's very cool.
I love it.
It makes me really happy that people are like going out on a limb. I have tried to get my mother to watch Parasite since 2019, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Patty, come on.
Come on. When I worked at a movie theater here in LA, I sold so many like cranky old senior citizens on going to see Parasite at the time. Because they were like, what's that? What's showing? What do you have? And I was like, there's this. And they're like, we've heard about that. But what is it? And I was like, it's very Hitchcocky. So if you like something like that, you'll like this. And they said, okay. And they did not trust me at all. And then they would walk out being like, that was so good. And I was like, yeah, you should go vote for it at the Oscars.
Yeah.
The last time the Oscars were good.
Yeah, that was the last time. I remember feeling like if Parasite doesn't win, I give up. And then I gave up anyway, but I was glad that it won.
I had given up, and I was like, it's cool that they nodded Parasite, and it'll win Best Foreign Language Film, but it won't win anything else. And then it swept, and my jaw was on the floor, and I was so happy.
I remember being 14 years old and watching the Oscars and being like, if fucking Forrest Gump beats Pulp Fiction, I don't want to live in this world anymore. And then sure enough, yeah. And then there was Crash versus Brokeback Mountain.
Oh my God.
And, it goes on and on and on. Anyway.
Green Book versus Black Klansman.
Yes, exactly.
Driving Miss Daisy versus Do the Right Thing.
Listen, let's play our favorite game. Have they seen it? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. Let me think. This is out of the clear blue sky. I don't even know where this comes from. Do you think that Emma Stone has seen The Host?
I mean, it's not entirely out of the clear blue sky. She's got a new Yorgos Lanthimos movie, Begonia, coming out, which is a remake of a Korean movie, Save the Green Planet, from this time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that.
You should go check out Save the Green Planet. It's very good.
Okay.
I know you're excited for Begonia.
Yeah.
I know you, as a Chapel Roan fan, are excited to see Begonia.
Yes, that trailer is so good.
Oh my god, I'm so hype. I think she's seen it. Come on.
She would really like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Underneath.
I feel like she probably saw it, if not in 2006, probably like 2008, 2010. Mm-hmm. You know, or maybe on the set of The Rocker or Superbad. I mean, I remember like being very into film in 2010, 2011, 2012, and Old Boy and a lot of these, like, you know, at the time more popular Korean films were getting a lot of attention, and they were really hard to access in America because they didn't have DVDs, or if they did, they were super hard to find. They weren't at Blockbuster. They were expensive. And so you had to import bootlegs off of eBay. Yeah. But then in like 2010, 2011, 2012, movies like Battle Royale and Old Boy started popping up on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it started building like a taste for this. People started to discover the Vengeance trilogy. People started to discover, you know, The Foul King, A Bittersweet Life. Like, there started to become like, people started to whisper about Memories of Murder, which like was so hard to find, but was like, can you believe this movie is amazing? And then Mother and The Host started to put Bong Joon-ho on the map, to the point that like, you got to make a movie with Captain America in like 2012.
And this was a huge hit in Korea. And so it did get seen. I mean, I saw it here. People saw it. It almost got an American remake. It fell apart, but thank God. Emma Stone's a yes.
Emma Stone's a yes. I feel like she loves this movie. Yeah. It's like so trite to go for anyone else that like makes monster movies these days, because like no shit Guillermo del Toro has seen The Host.
Of course.
Come on. But there is a filmmaker that Bong Joon-ho mentioned as an actor that was a slight influence on this movie, and that is none other than Australia's own Mel Gibson. I apologize, but not to Mel Gibson. No. Do you think that the Racist Down Under has seen The Host?
Wait, what is the context in which Bong Joon-ho mentioned Mel Gibson?
He mentioned Signs. Mel Gibson being the lead actor in Signs.
That's right. He was, wasn't he? I don't think so. I don't like Mel Gibson. I know that's not controversial these days. Whenever I think of Mel Gibson, I don't think of any of his cool movies. I think of that really shitty early 2000s movie, What Women Want. Do you remember
I remember that. They used to be on TV all the time. You know, they remade that recently?
They did?
They did a gender-swapped version of that called What Men Want.
I don't know why they think that this is like the progressive move. They did the same thing with Overboard, where they just switched the genders, and that's okay. And it's like
Taraji P. Henson and Tracy Morgan.
Oh my god, Jesus!
And
Christ.
Erykah Badu and Aldous Hodge. Should I watch this? That's a great cast.
No, you don't need to watch that, Drusilla.
The poster is Taraji P. Henson holding two baseballs in her hand, as if they were part of the male anatomy.
You see, because they look like balls but
also because men like the sport of baseball.
It's two things at once, you see.
A double entendre.
No, Mel Gibson has not seen this Bong Joon-ho movie. I don't think Mel Gibson has seen Parasite.
You don't think he watched Parasite during the 2019 awards season?
Hell no. I think he would be angry if you suggested it to him, that he watch a movie with subtitles.
It is.
Don't you think that would make him mad?
I do think he's a fucking racist. I do think he's a piece of shit. But I do think he would watch a movie with subtitles.
You do?
I do.
You don't think he would think that people in America should speak English, even though the movie's from Korea
and that he's from Australia? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, probably. But I think he probably saw Parasite at the time. I think it's maybe the only Bong Joon-ho film he's ever seen. I don't think he's seen The Host. I think on a genre level alone, him being like, oh, big monster movie, no. And then on top of that, oh, it's a Korean film, no. And then on top of that, like, oh, but it's like a political allegory for no. Like,
Well, then there's also, this is like a dangerous question, but like, who is he racist against? Like, we know Jewish people. He doesn't like them. We can assume black people, because if you're racist against anyone, generally they're on the list in America.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to go any further down this. This is a dangerous territory, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe you like some people more than others is all I'm saying.
Well, Mel, if you have opinions on the races and you want to write into Bloodhaus.
Yeah, Mel, please rank the races and write us at bloodhausepod@gmail.com.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, we'll be covering Apocalypto.
Jesus Christ.
To quote Nathan
we
Fielder,
should do Apocalypto.
As much as we love Mel Gibson.
I would be so interested to watch Apocalypto. I've never seen either of any of his movies.
Oh, it's bad. I know people that like it, but it's not for me.
I'm curious, morbidly curious.
My brother was obsessed with watching it around the time it came out, and I Christ.
Boy.
Anyway,
now I feel bad about asking Mel Gibson to rank the races. I feel like people are going to give us bad reviews. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's move on.
Well, and no, because then we'll rank his ranking.
Yeah, we think everyone's equal.
Well, no, we'll rank his ranking against other celebrity race rankings.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, we'll do it as like a BuzzFeed top 10 with like who among these racist actors is the least racist.
I'm just Googling like random celebrity right now. Okay. This is who came up. This is so wild. I've never done this in the history of Bloodhaus. This is the random celebrity that came up. Do you think
oh my God.
Do you think Katherine Heigl has seen The Host?
No. That's a quick, fast no. But I will back it up. Katherine Heigl, talented actress that she is. I'm not going to denigrate in any way, shape, or form in terms of talent. She is a talented actress. She
seems like a really mean person.
She seems like a person I would not get along with.
No.
She came up in the horror subgenre. She was in Bride of Chucky. She was in Valentine. That is like where she cut her teeth, and that's what got her knocked up and, all those other projects.
Also in the original Roswell, which I deeply loved.
Oh, I never watched, but maybe I should. I don't care about aliens enough, though. We'll see. Is that show about aliens? I assume, based on the setting and title.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Teenage aliens.
But she famously to this day refuses to acknowledge her genre past. And I think on Letterman or something like that, actively someone brought up Pride of Chucky and she actively was like, that's terrible.
Wow.
Which Don Mancini mentioned that story and was like, yeah, it really hurt my feelings.
Of course it would. Here are the 8 celebrities that came up randomly. I just Googled
when you searched random celebrity. Oh my God.
8 came up. Here they go in order. Drew Barrymore, Scarlett Johansson, Katherine Heigl, Britney Spears, Robin Williams, Jessica Biel, Ashley Tisdale, and Mary Louise Parker. Isn't that so weird?
Well, the last one is a very Josh that maybe the algorithm has gotten you on that one.
I do,
but it's it's all it girls of the 90s Williams. Or 2000s, and then oh Shazbot, there he is, Mrs. Doubtfire. There's a really lovely restaurant in Magnolia Park in Burbank called The New Deal. I love it. I eat there a lot. It's delicious. It's really quaint and adorable. They have a TV that plays TCM all day long.
Okay.
It's like FDR New Deal themed restaurant.
Yeah,
it's really
themed
cute.
after the best thing that ever happened to America.
That's what I'm saying. And the food is also delicious. A lot of vegetarian options. Across the street from that is an improv theater that has a mural on the wall of like people that have performed there and of comedians and of the theater and stuff like that. And there's like a proscenium arch stage, and painted on the mural, not that accurately, is Robin Williams, and then next to him is Mrs. Doubtfire, and they're holding hands and waving together. And I always have to see it through the window of this restaurant. And so it's always like, oh, look, there's Robin Williams and his friend, Mrs. Doubtfire. See, they were in the same place at the same time. They can't be one another.
Weird.
Anyway, this movie is, of course, about the effects of the dumping of toxic waste. And as I mentioned at the top of the episode, a great new film in theaters that is also about the ramifications from dumping toxic waste, at least in like movie logic. And so let's go back to the origin of it all. Do you think that the president and ruler of Tromaville, Lloyd Kaufman himself, has seen Bong Joon-ho's The Host?
I do. I think you might write him off as somebody who only watches like trashy stuff, but I think probably like John Waters, he is more sophisticated than you might think.
He's got a very Roger Corman kind of vibe to him.
Yeah, I think he's probably more well-watched than people probably give him credit for.
If this makes sense, he is the William Castle to Roger Corman's Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes.
He's like the goofier, schlockier one that will put himself in front of the camera and go, "Wah!" like, and do that. But they are like cut from the same cloth.
Totally. That makes perfect sense to me. I think he has, don't you?
I think he has, and I think he's seen it and been a Bong Joon-ho fan since probably around the time this came out.
Yeah.
I feel like he saw this in like the mid or early 2000s. Like,
yeah, agree.
I feel like when Snowpiercer came out and people were like, wow, that Bong Joon-ho guy is certainly making an interesting film or whatever. He was like, yeah, but have you seen The Host? The Host is good. We can never do it, but it's great.
Yeah.
He's got really good taste. He does batshit movies.
Yeah.
And he famously directed Second Unit on Rocky.
Romeo and Juliet, anyone?
Which apparently my former stepdad had some kind of involvement with Romeo and Juliet, but would never tell me. He was always hush-hush about it. Whenever I mentioned Troma, he was always like, oh, I worked for them. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, but I won't tell you what it is. You have to guess. And I was like, what? And I finally was like, was it Romeo and Juliet? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what did you do? And he's like, I won't tell you. So like, I need to rewatch Romeo and Juliet and see if he's in it or something. I have no fucking idea.
Wow. Interesting.
I have no to this day, it is a mystery to me.
That's crazy.
I am no longer in contact with this man.
I know. Thank you for listening to this episode of Bloodhaus. Please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Letterboxd, Instagram, Blue Sky, maybe, at Bloodhousepod. I don't know. Look for us. We're around. Drusilla, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, you can follow me on there. And I've gotten back into watching movies, thank God. I am out of my little depressive rabbit hole. I've been watching a lot of spaghetti western movies lately because I love an Italian icon. So go see my little journey through the Sartana films over on Letterboxd, and my obsession with the homoeroticism and zoom lenses of that franchise. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sister Hyde, and you can find myself and my work over at sisterhydedesign.com. The poster for Eenie Meenie just came out, designed by myself at Percival & Associates, is out. That's up on my website. You can go check it out over there. It's a big throwback to 60s car movies. and I gotta fuck around and do a very like Bonnie and Clyde, Cool Hand Luke inspired movie poster for a really, really, really fun Midwestern girl car heist movie. This movie was like positioned for exactly my specific taste. It's on Hulu. It's super fun. It's also got Andy Garcia and Steve Zahn and Marshawn Lynch, and I had a really good time working on it, and I didn't get to see it until after the fact, and I had so much fun watching it. So I highly recommend that. And what about you, Josh? How can people pluck you and keep you in their own little cave?
Letterboxd only currently.
Did you nuke all your socials? Do you still have an Instagram?
I have an Instagram, but it's private. I mean, you can request to follow me if you want.
Cool.
I'll probably let you follow me. I don't know. I'm just like trying to be more private. I nuked Blue Sky, and I'm private on Instagram, but you can follow me at Letterboxd at Joshua Conkel.
I genuinely think that removing yourself from social media in the year of our Lord 2025 is a very good thing to do.
Look, I'm trying to get a job out here, right? And I can't, It's unbecoming to be yelling at people on Blue Sky when I'm like maybe trying to write a children's TV show. So, you know what I mean? So.
I mean that too, but also like mental health reasons, government spying on you reasons, AI feeding off of your shit reasons. Like, it's just generally very good and positive. It's nice to stay in the loop with friends and things like that, but like, I find myself on social media less and less and less, so it
sucks. It's not fun.
It's good. But also listen to our podcast.
That's not social media.
Yeah, fair.
Listen, what are we watching next week? It's new for both of us.
Next week, we are turning back the clock. We are going back in time, and we are finding some real scum on the floor of a 42nd Street theater. We are finding a really grimy, gritty New York offering, and we will be joined by a special guest to find out the answer to the question, who killed Teddy Bear?
Very curious, very excited. See you next week. Thank you. Bye.